So I'll save, go to Shift S, and then change this one to what? To 14. And then I'll change this one to Bootstrap. I hope you guys are following. Because you can leave me in class and you go to your beds. I know you can do that. I'll remove this body. Hey, how did I write this and put some things outside the body? Okay, body. My body. Okay, so so let us look at what? At Bootstrap Utilities very fast, at a very fast speed. Bootstrap Utilities. Delete this, save. So if I right click and say open in what? Open in browser. There we are. Now I'll come and we look at what? At circle. So I'll first write my simple CSS here to make the height and width. So I can come here and put some style and then put maybe dot my div and then give it a height of 200 pixels and then Ctrl Shift D. Oh my god, there's one package that is disturbing me here. And width, I have to remove it. Width of Fat, did you find, Fatuma, did you find how to remove a package? Okay. My underscore div. So I can give this one border. Then by just doing that, it will create this one with just that border. Let me put here. We looked at margins, eh? You still remember margins? Class M from 1 up to, from 0 up to 5, right? So if I come and refresh, I'll have that beautiful border. So if I come and put border danger, then it will have the color of danger on its bordering. So you can change using the contextual color, warning, primary, you see, then it will do that. So that's how we can play with borders with Bootstrap, by just first putting border, then you put the border context. So I can put BG info, so I'll have this kind of info. Now if I want to make it rounded, the one that you say it is rounded, it has failed, so I'll put rounded. By just doing that, can you see? Can you see the rounding? Fatumata. So what magic did I use? Huh? Maybe your CSS is contradicting something, the CSS that you wrote on top. So I can disable some rounding parts. For example, I'm able to round, for example, the top part. I can say rounded top, then it will make only the top part rounded, and you can see the bottom is not rounded. I can put rounded bottom, then it will make the bottom part only. I can say rounded left. So if I put rounded left, so only the bottom and the left will be rounded, but the right has not been rounded. So that's how we can play with rounded. So this rounded is not just stopping from there. We have rounded circle, rounded info, rounded, all those we can play with them. Rounded circle, rounded, and then you put circle, then it will be a perfect circle. If it is what? If it is a square. Otherwise, if the shape is not square, then we'll try to make it a circle and it will fail. Can you see what we've made? Yeah, so that's how we make a rounded circle. For example, you see, it is oval because the height is less than the width. Otherwise, if the width and the height are the same, then you can make such a beautiful rounded. So you can do this on any kind of a div and any kind of HTML element. So here there is what? The floating. So you can float. Here is just utilities, things that you can use there, just like one thing like this, and you can use it anywhere. So you have floating. You can float right, float left. So if I want this to float it right on this side, I can put float right. Okay? So in Bootstrap, you want to float something, we do like that. And you can see we have it on this side. It's beautiful and simple. So we look at float right, left. This one to make sure that it's centered. So align will make something to be centered. For example, if I come and copy this code, paste it here, put some br, paste that code there. So what will it do? It will, if you put mx auto, it will make this item to be aligned in the center. You see, if I refresh, you see mx auto. That's the power of mx auto. So let us try to put this mx auto here, remove this float and put mx auto. Save, refresh, boom. So members, this is very important. Sometimes we want to center something and we are stuck. You want to set a div, you want to set an image. So if you want to center an image or a div with a Bootstrap, you just put mx auto. Are we together? Good. So that's how we center elements. So we go to width. You can play with width like this. Bootstrap has prepared for us some width, you know, in case you're too fast and you don't have time to write the width with CSS. You can play with width like this one. For example, if you want the 25%, you just add W25, then it will make the width 25. The W100 make the width 100. You see, so it has 25, 50, 75, 100, a quarter and a half, and 2 quarters, 3 quarters, and the full size. Okay, those are the width. It's not working. This height, it also works, but if you use height, you must first specify the height of the container that is containing them. Sometimes you may try this thing and it fails. The thing is, it must be the height of the container which is containing them. It must be what? It must be specified. You see, that's it. Now if I come and refresh, we have these heights. Did it work even? Sometimes it's always disturbed. You see, you must specify here the height. I've already specified. I don't know why it's not working. What did it do? Did I? No, this is the width. I'm talking about the height. But I cannot see the colors. Did I mess up with these colors? BG. The percentage is not displaying. Most of the time, it needs us to specify the height, and it's already specified. It's useless. So let us look at these things are very important. Fatu, now open your eyes very wide. Now this is where we've been getting the problem from. So let me put some BRs that we should separate. So I'll save, come and refresh. So I'm going to put here my work. So ninjas, let us try to be attentive here. Hadi, try to be attentive. You say that Bootstrap, it ranges some screens. Let us try to be attentive here. Bootstrap ranges some screen from a extra small size to small size to medium size to large to extra large. Those are the screens that Bootstrap can specify. I repeat, are you following really? This is important. So you should follow. Okay, Fatu, you follow. I will watch the video. So, Fatima, are you there? Okay, follow now. Yeah, this is very important, really. So, we say that Bootstrap, it separates the screen because it minds about responsiveness. So, it has to detect the screen sizes of the device that we are using. We have extra small screen We have small screen, and use SM to specify the small screen. We have MD to specify the medium screen, large and extra large. A small screen, we use XM. Just like this contextual color, as a property of a what? Of a screen. This means that a screen for a very small phone. Do you remember those phones of buttons? Those phones. If you want to target it, we shall use this property of XM. We call it extra small. Okay? We have another these now are our smartphones. Okay? Our smartphone. If we want to target it, we use SM, small devices. We have medium devices. These are our normal laptops. We use MD to target those medium devices. Then we have large screen. These are computers like desktop computers. We target them using LG, large screen. Then we have X large. These are big screen like TVs. You know, you can access some internet on some big TVs. It is possible. So if you want to target the very big TV, use XL. So that's how we separate screens. Okay? So we format using, we format classes of Bootstrap by using the property. For example, if you want to say the margin, the display, the color, anything that it is possible to be set with property. So if you want to target, we begin with the what? With the property. Maybe MD. MD means what? BG. BG means what? Background. So border means what? The border. Color means the what? The color of the what? Of the text. So that's a property that we can put here. First, the property. Then we target the what? The sides. Whether left side or right side. You remember those things. Float right, float left, those one. On possible properties can access the what? The size. Then, the side. Then we come to the what? To the size. And these are the sizes that I have talked about. I have, for example, here for Excel, we can begin with the property, then the side, then the breakpoint, which is the what? Which is the size. And this size can be SM, LD, LG, MD. So by default, this Excel, let us be attentive here. XL, we don't specify it because that is the default one. If you don't specify, then that rule that you're trying to put, it will begin from the smallest screen, which is the XL. Then the next rule, so the class will end in the class will end in 10 minutes, and then I'll give you a break of 5 minutes, then you'll join, and then we shall do other non-stop of 80 minutes. Okay? So start counting in 10 minutes. If they pass before this class ends, you should remind me. Okay? Are we together? So we say that you begin the property, maybe background or border or anything. Then you specify the sides. If that property supports the size, maybe left or right. Then you specify the what? The breaking point. And I've said that the default one is the smallest one. If you don't specify, it means that that rule that you're trying to create here, it will begin from the what? From the smallest device. But if you want to specify, for example, I want this rule to start acting beginning from the medium device, from the small device like a smartphone, then I'll put this one. I want this rule to start working beginning from the medium device like a laptop, then I'll have to put MD like that, LG up to XL. We don't specify this. Why? Because it is the default. So here are the properties, for example, some properties. We have margin and paddings. This is an example. So if we put here M as the property, then we can specify either the side, margin top, MT, MB, ML, MR, and MX, the default, all the sides. So MT, I means what? Hadi, MT means what? Beautiful. And L ML means margin left, like that. So this one is cross both all the sides. So I start with the property, then I put the side. In case that property supports the side. Some property they don't what? They don't support the sides. Then after doing that, I can now put the what? The size. Sometimes the size like 0 up to 5. Padding 0. Padding 0 will remove all the padding across everything. Padding 1 will make a size of 225 rem. This 25 rem means like multiplying by the default font size of that machine by 0.25. So we have from 0 up to 5. So 0, it will make the what? It will remove the padding, and then it will increase them up to 5. They say 5, it means that 48 pixels or 3 rem. So that's the property, the side T, L, R, B. The breakpoints, those are you're going to look at them. So after, we can now, these ones they're just showing you how you can number them. They're using n to replace these ones. Now let us try to play with these things, okay? Let's try to play with these things and see what we're talking about. Now I can do like this. Put some beer. Okay, this is very important. So I'll try to create here my div. I say div, and let me increase the size of this div maybe to 400. This class is going to end, and then I'll give a break of 40 minutes. For 5 minutes. Last time I said 10 minutes and you guys ran away. My div, okay. Then I can give bg. Okay, let me put just border, and then I put border info, and then let me put here some simple lorem. So I come and refresh here. Can you see the border is, the content is attached to the border exactly. Can we see that? So I can start playing with paddings. For example, if I say P1, so it will put some padding, which is P1. Can you see? It has tried to put some spacing. So I can range these paddings up to P what? Up to P5. So you guys have understood that. So you see, that's a P5, P4. So I can resize up to the one I want using P1, P2, P3 up to P5. Now I can go ahead. You remember we said here that you can go ahead and specify the what? The sides, but it is not necessary. So I can say this padding should only act on top. So I put PT, then the size. So you see, left is 0, right is 0, and bottom of course is 0, but only on top. So I can put the left. So I'll put the left, then you see the padding is 0 on the left. Okay? So that's how we specify the sides. Now let the logic begins. So Bootstrap starts from here. Here. Now, where is the logic? Why do you need Bootstrap? Is responsiveness. Now I can say, for example, on a small screen, right? Okay, I can put P5. Let me remove the sizing. Now the logic starts here. The Bootstrap starts here. Now on the laptop, it should look like that because things look to be spaced and beautiful. That's why I want on the big device, it should look like that. But if we go to the mobile phone, I inspect here and click on the mobile phone. I did not put the what? The default size. Oh my god, I wanted to put this thing of I even don't know it in the head. Zoom size HTML, meta tag, meta tag, meta tag, HTML. I don't know that thing in the head. Scale, it is this one. I don't know it in the head. I'll have to come and cheat. You should be free to cheat. This one, okay? I'll come and copy it. Okay, why did I search for that? Can you see? On Galaxy phone, try to see here, members. It's very important. Can you see? I'm on Samsung Galaxy, right? But it is still showing like it is on desktop. So if I want to put that responsive, you have to put this tag here in the head. This tag. Meta. You shall look at meta tags. Meta, name, viewpoint, content width, scale, initial 0. I don't know how to memorize these things. Normally it comes by default. So if you put this one, then if you come and refresh, they'll always make sure that your screen is responsive. Can you see? Can you see the difference? Without it, like you've seen those weird websites you visit, and then still it looks like a what? Like a screen. I mean a laptop, even though you're in a mobile phone. It just looks like a desktop version. So if you want to make these versions to be responsive, we have to put this tag. I failed to memorize it, but if you have brains, you can memorize it. I can cheat anytime I want from internet. So you see, it's now responsive. Now, what was my point? Well, my point was like if we come to Samsung Galaxy. Okay, let me first go back to the main computer. I'll remove. This is how it looks like. Margin 5, okay? Margin 5, our content looks a little bit spaced and it looks good, right? But I want this to be responsive. If I come here on desktop, I mean on a mobile phone, Samsung Galaxy, but still the margin still what? Is still 5. This is not good because the screen of our laptop, I mean of a mobile phone, is not as large as the screen of a desktop. So it wouldn't be good design to make the same padding to be the same padding for the what? For the mobile phone. So I want to make it responsive. When it's on the desktop, it should show padding 5. But when it is on the mobile phone, it should reduce on this padding. Do you get my point, members? It should reduce on this padding and at least show maybe padding 1. You get my point? Because the mobile screen is having a less screen. So I want to remove the what? Reduce on the padding. But on the desktop, it is okay. So we say that if we don't specify, I repeat, we say that if we don't specify the rule, if we just put the P here like this, P5, this rule will start from the smallest device. Like that. So there we are. You should learn very fast and you start working together. Hey, that doesn't matter. We can work from anywhere. There is Zoom, there is GitHub, there is many ways. So if you're still thinking like that you have to work with someone, with your neighbor only, then I pity you. Okay, Fatumata. Yeah, with the current technology, you don't need to work with only your neighbors. No, you can work with anyone in the world. Have you known that? I say, with the current technology, you don't need to work with your neighbor only, like someone who neighbors me, the one who I work with. Have you listened? You can learn with everyone. You can work with everyone. So you should remove that mentality that I can only work with my roommate or someone in the same campus. No, anyone. Like Zoom. If I was in Africa right now, I could be working while you're here, explaining things. There is GitHub. There is a lot of technologies. So remove that mentality. You can work with anyone in the world. So let's resume. Here we are. So we were saying that this rule of padding 5 begins from the smallest device, like Samsung Galaxy, up to the highest device. Because remember I said that if you don't specify, that padding will start from the smallest device. But this is not what we want. We want like at the smallest device, we should have maybe padding 1, so that we should save the screen. You understand? Then at a medium device, okay, thank you for talking about me. I'll let Hafsa join and also talk about you. I think I'm happy. So, members, the smallest padding is P. Is not to specify. They want to start from the what? From the least device. This is a very important topic, members, okay? So, it will start from the least device. Now, if I say P1, okay, P1, you see? So, it means that beginning from the P1, we'll have, from the smallest device, we shall have P1. If I say P3, we shall have padding 3. From the what? From the smallest device. Now, I want to say that I can even remove this and I check the responsive size here. Here, the responsiveness. So, if you click here on responsiveness, on responsive design, here, you click and say responsive design, we can play with the screen sizes. These are things that you developers are supposed to be knowing. Can you see? I can play with screen sizes. So, this is this list screen, the mobile phone, and you can see the padding is 1 and is static. Now, the point is now, I want when it comes to the smartphone, okay, when it comes to the laptop, the padding should be padding 3. Here it is because of what? Of small device, so I want to save the space. So I put padding 1. But I want like when it comes to the to the laptop, I have enough bigger screen. Now I want to put the padding 3. So to do that, I'll come here and say, so I'll begin with P2. For example, P2. That's the least device, okay? And you can see there's padding 2. Now I can say now when it reaches the laptop, it should be P3 or P4. So to do that, I'll say P and then I put a dash, then I specify the size. So this one is MD. We remember we have XSM, SM, and what? MD. Not XL. MD. So medium. Can you see now? Here we are pointing at what? We are pointing at the medium size. So I can say at the smallest size it should be 2, and then at a medium size it should be 3. So if I save, if I come and refresh, so if it means that when it will come to the medium size, it will change to 3. You cannot see because it is too small. Let me put 5. Okay. So I refresh. Can you see? At medium size, it is 5. See clearly. When I change the screen, can you see? Smart screen, that is 750, something like that. 700, where is the sizing? 700, where is it? Who knows the size of the width of smart screen? Of a smartphone. You don't know it? 700 something. It was here. It was here. The sizing was here. It is 728, right? 68. 68. Yeah, that's very good. For me, I don't memorize those small things. You understood it. Yeah, you see? Yeah. Did you tell us? Yeah, very good. You see? The smart screen will begin from here. So you see, that's why I've showed you this technique of changing the what? The width. You see? You put here on responsive and then you see the width here. So I change the width slightly. Can you see? When it's part at 68, it jumps to what? 2. Can you see here? When it passes to 68, it jumps to the medium size. That is the iPads and the laptops. So when it's less than 68, it jumps to the smaller size. And you just take a good look at our padding. We have said that something which is less than 68 should have padding of 2. Something beyond 68 width, 768, it should have padding of what? Of 5. So you see, if I move, when I just go beyond 768, the padding crazily increase. So it means that that's how we have managed to target the what? The padding. It's really, really, really important way of sizing things. And if you understood this way, you understand this way of targeting screen, then you're good to go. I can say, like, at medium screen, it should be 3. And I can also target here. So this rule will act from the small screen up to the above. But when it is going to above, it finds another rule which begins from the what? From the medium screen. So it means that this rule will stop this rule. The rule of medium will stop the rule of small screen. And then we'll start putting the rule of medium. And then the rule of medium start from the medium size up to the remaining part. Unless we have another one. So I can say now PLG 5. You see, you can even write those words without even putting the dash. Then if you have packages, it will suggest for you. So this rule will be between smartphone, I mean the data phones, those small phones up to smartphones. Then this rule of 3 will begin from the smartphone up to the laptops. And then this rule of 5 will begin from the laptops up to the maximum sizes. So if I come and save and refresh, can you see? I reduce, that is the padding one, the smallest rule. I come, when I go beyond smartphone, as you're seeing here, the width. When I go beyond smartphone, another rule comes in, the padding 3. And when I go beyond desktop, beyond laptop, you see, 1024, another rule of padding 5 jumps in. Who did not understand that? And I repeat it. Okay, once more, I'll repeat using colors. Okay, then they will understand it properly. So I'm going to put my div here. You're wondering why understanding very fast. Because I didn't tell that it is very hard, I will not understand. So my div, and then I put some BR tag here. Okay. So let me give it BG success. Hi dear, hope you're following. So that's in responsive design. So there is no any rule. You see, from smallest up to the highest, the rule is just success. Okay. Now, let us start setting rule. So I can remove this success and I say BG. So this rule, it means that it begins from the smallest device up to the highest device. But I want to break this rule when we jump into the what? The medium, okay, the small device. So I'll say BG SM info. Okay, BG SM, maybe BGSM info. I don't know whether this one will work, but that's how it used to work. BGSM info. Why is it not working? BGMD info. The background is not supported. I think the backgrounds are not supported. The background are not supported, are not supported. BGMD. Oh, they are not supported. The backgrounds are not supported. So let us see what should you use as an example. I can use let me see what they use here. Border. Use the margin, they are possible. Padding, they are possible. Let me see what else. Color MD. Yeah, color works. Background does not work. I don't know why. Border. Okay, color works. So I can say text MD danger. The colors does not work. Text. Okay. BG MD. This one they don't support the colors. Let us see what else they support. These, they support the sizing, MD and what? And they support the sizing and the paddings. Yeah. They don't support the colors, I think. Yeah. They also support the colors. They don't support the colors. They support only the sizing and the padding. Yeah. They don't support the colors. We shall explain that when it comes to the grid system properly. So let us look at the last time. For the last time I'm going to use the what? The margin. So I can say I have here BG, this, and then I can put the margin. So this BG danger, I can put in the margin of M1. So you see, it means that beginning from the smallest device, it will have the margin of what? Of M1. Are you still there, guys? Good. The electricity has gone. So I can come to 3, and refresh here. So you see, the padding, try to focus on the padding. You'll see the padding, the margin is at what? At 1. So let me say the rule, another rule, you should start at the medium. So say margin MD 2. So it means that at 2, it will have the at a medium size screen, it will have the margin of what? Of 4. You see? MD 4. So if I come and refresh here, by default is 4. So if I reduce the sizing here, can you see? I reduce the sizing, the margin comes back to 1. You can see this on this size. But if I increase, you see the margin jumps. I don't know if they can see that when you pass the responsive size, the breakpoint, the margin will jump crazily. But if we don't specify, then it will remain the same. So that's how we make responsive designs. Okay, we shall understand more when you come to the grid system. So these utilities, they are just simple things like colors, like text colors. I'll not even sleep here. Let us jump to the what? To the grid system. That's the most important part here. The most important part in Bootstrap. So I'll save another file but you've got that introduction to responsiveness, and you're going to use the same introduction to what? To the grid system. So I'll save this on the grid system to 15, and then I'll remove some content here. Now grid system. Let me specify the height only. Now grid system. What the use of grid system? It helps us to make responsive designs. However, we use the same sizing of the screen like the one I explained before. So a responsive design is just like we can be able to target a certain level of a screen, and we make a decision, because it is not good user experience to display a desktop size screen on a smartphone. So if you want to be adopting the screens, then you have to use the responsive design. And this grid system of Bootstrap enables us to use the responsive design. So let us be attentive here. It's really important. Bootstrap grid system adds up to 12 columns. We are going to understand what is meant by column. I repeat, Bootstrap grid system adds up to 12 columns. So these columns is the number of divisions that we can make to a what? To a row. We are going to create something, a row, to a screen. So Bootstrap can be able to divide a screen into 12. Now we can add these screens by creating different kinds of what? Different sizes of row. Different sizes of a certain row of a div. And then if the size go beyond what you're supposed to, then it will jump to the next one. For example, I'm going to use just a default sizing. So to use the Bootstrap, okay, we begin now. to use the Bootstrap, I repeat, to use the Bootstrap grid system, rule number 1, you must first create a row. A row is this thing, okay? You know what is meant by a row. You first create a row, and this can be a div. So I create a div, and I give it a class of what? Of row. So by doing that, then I'm able to use the Bootstrap grid system inside this row. Now, I can say that I'm going to create a content. I'm going to create, let me open the browser. I'm going to create open browser. There we are. I am going to create a div that is going to spend 50% of my screen. I repeat, I'm going to create a div which will spend 50% of my screen. So it means that we say that the Bootstrap grid system adds up to how many? Adds up to 12. So if I want to divide my screen by 2, it means I'll have to divide this 12 by how many? By 2, and the answer will be 6. Are we together? So if I want to do that, I'll simply say div, and then I give it maybe class, and give it my what? My div. Why? Because I want this one to have some height. My div, and then maybe give it bg danger. Okay, so this is just a div. I've not put anything. If I refresh, you see it is just collapsing where the content stops. It's where it also stops. Now I want this div to spend a half of this, and we have said that if we want the Bootstrap starts 12, the Bootstrap columns, they add up to 12. Now if you want to specify halfway, it means that you have to divide this 12 by 2, and you'll have 6. So to do that, I'll come and give here, I'll first create this row, and then inside I'll put a div, and then if I want this div to use the Bootstrap columns, I'll have to give it a class called call. Okay, so this call, it means that you want to use the Bootstrap column system. Then you specify the size 6. So it means that this column is going to be 60%. Okay, it's going to be 50% because Bootstrap, 12 divided by 2 is equal to 6. So if I say call 6, it means that this div is going to be 60% of this row, which adds to 12. Am I clear, members? So let me refresh. Can you see? 60%. Let me make this one 200. Can you see? It is 60%. A half on this side and a half on this side. I repeat, you begin by creating a div with a row and with a class of row, and then inside you create a div and then with a class of call. And this call, you can specify the number of the columns that you want to occupy. So if I want, for example, the column that will occupy by 6, I'll have to divide 12 divided by 6, which is by 2, which is 6. Then it will be, I put here call 6. Then it will be half of the column system, which is 6. So I can still go ahead and specify, maybe I can say I want this one to be to spend the space of 2 columns. If I want it to spend a space of 1 column, I have to put here 1. So it will spend a space of 1 column. That's where 1 column will stop. If I want to spend a space of 2 columns, it means I'll put 2. Okay? So if I want to spend a space of 10, then I'll do like this. It will spend 10, and then you see a space of 2 columns has remained. Am I clear? Now this space of 2 columns, you can use it for another div. Now let me create another content. Let me create here another div. Okay, in the same row, can you see? In the same row, I create another div. Let me give it bg, maybe success. Those are totally opposite colors. I refresh. Now you see here clearly, this one has come next to it. Why? It was supposed to be here, right? But the reason why it has come to it, because if you add 10 plus 10, it goes beyond 12, and the grid system adds up to 12. So it means that if you want this green color or this green content to fit here, it means that we have to put a number that will make this and this to add up to 12 or less than 12. You understand? So it means that Fatoumata, what should I put here so that this should fit here? What should I put? What? Beautiful. If I put 2, then it will be there. If I put 1, it will fit there, but it will remain another 1 space. Hadi, did you get that? So it means that I can even create 1 more space here. Okay? Maybe make this one warning. So I refresh. Boom. Can you see? I can, if I make or I mess and I make this one something that will not add up to 12, what will happen? The remaining one will float immediately next to the previous system. You see? This one is 11 and this one is 1 and then it has 12. Then the remaining one will come to the next row. I mean just next to the previous system. Did you understand that? So I can create another, I'll make another example. I can say div. I put begin with a what? With the row. Rule number 1, row. So I'll put div, then I'll put row. And then I put my own systems right now. Div, and then I put class, and then I put, now I start specifying. So if I don't have content, I can just put it this one here. Why are we doing this anyway? Why are we doing this? It's because like you want to make a responsive design and you put your content here, your content will never cross to another part. You see, it will never cross to another part even though it comes to the mobile size screen. Can you see? It will never cross to another part. That's why we say responsiveness. That's why we are suffering with these things. Otherwise, you see, even though it is one div, it will always remain there. It will never cross. Can you see? It is always separated. That's why we are suffering. But I'll not put content. I'll use colors just to save time. So I have created another row here. Okay. So what's remaining is now to start putting the content as I'm separating these rows. So I can put here, I put call 3. So it will make, for me, a call of 3. Let me give it BG dark. And then I give it what? I give it my class. Okay, my what? My div. So to give it a height. So if I refresh, let me put some beer tag. Beer. And the what? Beautiful. I thought you guys were sleeping. So you see, it is there. So put some beer tag. So if I put an hyphen, then it will have to respect the Bootstrap column system. So that is 3. So sometimes now you have to play with these things. If you want how many columns? 4 columns, then you have to divide 12 by 4, which is 3. So I can make my column of 3, 3, 3. And then I'll have 4 equal columns. So I can put here BG info. I can put here, can come and put this one here and put success secondary and put here success. So it means like it is going to be 3 plus 3, 6. 3 plus 3, 6. This is one we're going to fit there, right? The class will stop in 10 minutes and immediately we shall come for the last session. Immediately. And I'll share the link. So I'll refresh. Can you see? They're up to 12. Can you see that? Up to 12. And they are fitting. Okay? I can make another system of what? Of 4. You see? Those are the most common system that we use. I can make 4. So it will be 4. What? 4. 4 and 4. So this one will have to go, right? So 4 plus 4, 8. Plus 4, 12. So this one was going to fit there. Can you see? Let me try to put some beer to separate this one from this previous row. and then maybe try to change the colors. Danger. Success. So if I come and refresh, can you see this one? They are fitting 3, 3. I mean 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, and this one is any size. Who did not understand there? And I repeat, you understood, you guys, right? You understood, right? You understood, okay? Respond. Yeah, so that's how we play with these ones. You can even make a 2. You see, you can make something beautiful like 2 and 2. And how many is remaining? Very good. Who said that answer? I'll buy for you Fanta. No, I've changed my mind. I'll not. Success. I don't have Taka. Success. I have, but not for buying Fanta. So I have that one. So you see, that's beautiful. My content here, and here. So let me show you. Let me show you like Khadija. I want to show you something, one more thing, okay? Which is really nice. It was not supposed to be in the previous class, but because of Zoom, it catch the class before we finish. So I want to show you something, okay? I can hide some content. How do you hide content? That's the question now. I can hide some content at some level. For example, I can say, let me put here div. Can you see this is my div? And it's having a class of what? Of my what? My underscore div. And it's having some bg dark, and then having some text white. And then okay, I want to say small font, okay? So if I want my content, you know, sometimes, you know, Facebook, right? There's something that you see on Facebook on the website of desktop, but when you go on on what? On smartphone, you're not seeing them. Yet it is the same website. I think you've expressed such a things. Because some things we don't need to display them on a very small screens. So this is small phone, this is going to be smartphone. So you're going to learn how to hide some content at certain screen levels. Then this is going to be what? It's going to be what? Laptop. Then this one going to be what? Desktop, and then I shall have the last one on TV, the big screen. I call them TVs. TV. Okay. Let me try to change some colors here. I put dark. I put here info. I'll put here success. I'll put here primary. Yeah, primary is a beautiful color. I'll put here warning. Warning. I hate warning. Warning, no problem. So let's refresh. Okay, refresh. Now see our colors. Let me try to reduce on the height here. 100. Can you see? Our colors, they are appearing on everything now, okay? By default, they are appearing on everything, okay? Now, we want to hide this. It should only appear on what? On smartphone, okay? So, how do we do that? So, by default, it will appear on everything. So, if I want to hide it on if I want it to appear on smartphone, so it means that I have to hide it beginning from, if I want to hide it on a smartphone and above, so it means that I have to hide it beginning from the smartphone. So I'll say DSM none. Okay? Okay, D means display. Then you put dash, then you specify the screen size, SM. So it means that on smartphone, right? So DSM and then I can put here whether it should display none, whether it should display as a block or as an inline element. So I say D none. So it means that this is smartphone. Yeah, small phone. It means that on small phone it will display, but on smartphone, which is small device, it will not display. If you want to hide it on small phone, then you have just not to specify the screen. Then it will hide it beginning from the smallest phone. But if I want to start hiding it from a smartphone, then I'll hide it beginning from the SM. Did you understand? So if I refresh, you see it is not there. So let's try to go back to inspect on responsive design. Can you see? It is coming back. Can you see? Members, see. When I go beyond 500 something, those who are good at memorizing, 500 what, Fatomat? Fatomat is genius in memorizing this. It's 572. I think 572. Okay? So the phone of buttons will start working 572 pixels. So how do you do that? So if we don't specify, it means that the XSM, that's what I'm meaning, XSM, then that rule start from there. If you see, if I say D none, I do not specify, then mean that it will not be displayed on anything. Are we together? But I say if I want this one to start displaying after, I mean, it should stop. It should not display beginning on smartphone. Let's say DSM none. So it means that on the smartphone it will not display, but on the remaining phones it will display on the remaining screens. Can you see? Remaining screen it is displaying. Okay, but when we go beyond a smartphone, it does not display. Did you understand that? So you see, small phone is not there. So let us go and put the rule here. You did not understand? Why did you not understand? No. When I put this rule, it will start displaying from, it will start acting from there up to the maximum until there's another rule that will change it. That's what you should know. So by default, if I say D none, it means that from the smallest, this rule will start working. Unless it will find another rule on it beyond in front of it. Then the other rule will deactivate it. So you see, D none, beginning from the smallest phone, it will not work up to the biggest size. It's a very good question. Okay? Did you understand now? So I can put another rule that will change this rule later. I can say DMD block. So it means that beginning from the laptop, it will start showing. So it means that on the smartphone, on small phone, it will not show. On the smartphone, it will not show. But on the laptop, it will start showing as a block element. So let us refresh. On the small phone, it is not showing. On the smartphone, it is not showing. You see, on the smartphone, it's not showing. Here, this is the smartphone beyond 500. On the laptop beyond 700, it is showing. Okay? So that's how we play with these rules. We can say if so it means that this rule will change this one. You can even I hope you're understanding. So this rule can be changed later. But if you don't change it, then that rule will not show until the end of the of the sizes. Okay? So if you refresh here, that will disappear. Okay? Now let us see. I don't want this one. Now let us implement our task. This one is only displaying on what? sorry, now we are okay. This one it should display only on medium device. So it will say it displays the medium device, but when it go beyond SM, it should be what? SM, it should be none. So beyond small device, it will not be displayed, that black thing. So on the small device, it is okay. Beyond small device, it should not display. Now we come to this. Remember, see, we want to hide this one, this yellow color. It should not show on the small device, right? It should start showing on the what? On the small device. It should not show on the very small device. It should show on the small device, on the phones. So how do you do that? So it means that I'll first deactivate it by putting D none, okay? And then it means that it will not show anywhere, okay? That's yellow thing. But I want to make it start showing at what? At a small device. So I say DSM block. So at a small device, it should display as a what? As a block. So if I refresh, you see, it is coming. Less than a block, it is not displaying. Beyond a block, it is coming. All together. But I don't want this yellow device, this yellow color to display beyond a smartphone. So how will I do? I'll add the third rule and say DMD none. Did you understand? This will disable it in a less than SM. At SM, it will display, and then beyond SM, which is MD, it will not display. Members, did you understand this? Did you understand this? Good. So if I come and refresh, so on the small device, it is not displaying the yellow color. When we reach the smartphone, it starts displaying the yellow color. So you can put here the content that you want to display only on smartphone. When it goes beyond a smartphone on a laptop, it does not display. Hadi, did you get that? Good. So we are here now. This, we want it to display only on a laptop. So we shall say D none. So on a laptop, it will not do what? It will not display. Less than everything, it will not display. Then we shall enable it on a what? On a laptop. So it will be DMD block. So on a medium, on a laptop to start displaying. Then beyond the laptop, I don't want it to display. So it will be DLG none. Okay? So beyond this, it will not display. When it reaches this, it will display as a block. When it goes beyond this, it will not display. So if I come and refresh, this is the laptop. So you see, on a laptop, on a smartphone, that blue color, primary color, not displaying. We come to smartphone. The smartphone content will come here in the yellow color. Beyond the smartphone, the yellow color will go, and then the laptop color will jump in. Beyond the laptop color, it will also go. So we are remaining with this desktop and TV. I hope you are together. So to do that, I'll first disable this one, D none. Okay. Then we say from LG, this was what? Was MD. The next one is LG. So say D LG A block. So, and then beyond LG, I want to disable it. So it's D XLG none, right? So beyond extra large, it should not show. So if I refresh, this is the green side. So beyond, it is going. Can you see the green, that success side? Desktop, the word desktop has gone. So if I come here, desktop is displaying. Let me even make my text color, my size to be 25. Okay, 3 rem. That you should see. Okay, so can you see a font size? Okay, so can you see on desktop it is displaying this green color, this one. I said it should only display on LG. Beyond LG it should not display, and beyond less than LG it should not display. So there we're in LG. When you go beyond LG on TV, it goes. Then on desktop it displays. Less than desktop, the desktop disappears and the laptop displays. Less than smartphone, the laptop disappears, the smartphone displays. Less than smartphone, the smartphone disappears, the smartphone displays. The remaining part is the what? Is the TV. So how do you do that? So you shall come D none, and then we just put DXL block. DXL block. So that's the ending part. So on the left screen, it should not display, but until it reaches the largest screen, then it should display. So if we refresh, then we shall see TV size. Then we shall see only one div at a time. Desktop, then laptop, then smartphone, then small phone, then up to the end, like that. So this will be your task. Don't copy my code. You should just challenge yourself and do the same task. Okay? Are we together? Good. So that's responsive design. Now let us go back to the grid system. That was not grid system though. The grid system, you still remember it. Okay? Now but it was very useful to understand grid system. The grid system, let us come back to the grid system. Now we're going to put the responsiveness on grid system. You see, the problem here is, like for example, this row. Can you see this row? It remains 4. It does not change. You see, focus on this. It remains 4. It does not change at all, even though it is a small size, even though it's a big size. So there's no point of us using the grid system. The main point for grid system is for responsiveness. Like I should show 4 columns on a larger screen, on a medium screen, on iPad I should show 3 columns, and then on the laptop it should be 1 column on a smartphone. But right now it is not doing that. We have understood how grid system works, but it is not doing the real responsiveness. So we have learned how to target sizes, and we have learned how to target sizes using the display and display none. Now we're going to see how we can make these columns responsive. Now I'll create another file. I'll save it. Bootstrap grid system. I'll add another one, responsiveness. Okay, this is your nightmare. The one that has been disturbing you. Now let us learn it from scratch. Okay, so I'll put here my div. Okay, let me first open in browser. There it is. Okay, so I'll put there my div, and then I'll put the class, and then I'll put bg maybe. Okay, I'll begin with the row. Before you do anything, you begin with the row. Then inside that row, you can put a div. Okay, so I want to write my content, which is going to be like 3 columns. So I put call class call 3 is what? If I want 3 columns, call for, right? Yeah, very good. My div, my div, and then I give it bg, maybe dark, and then I can put here some content, right? Content. I'm gonna put some lorem, and then I'll duplicate this, Ctrl D. Oh my god, I have here one package is disturbing me, like cannot use my favorite shortcut even because of that package. I'll copy this and then paste it here, and maybe make this one success, and then text white. Okay, then lastly I'll copy this and paste it here, and maybe make it danger. I refresh. Okay, there is our content. Let me reduce on the font size. Okay, so can you see that? So if I come and refresh, we have that content. So it means that our content will be separated by that. So in this part, we're going to learn how to make this content responsive. So I'll click there, and then it is not responsive. It's not responsive. It is a bad design to show 3 columns on a small screen. Really, it's not fair. Even on Facebook, they show you only 1 column. We did not mind about these things before. Why? Because we were not what? We were not programmers. But now we are programmers. Now we have to mind about them. So it is not fair. It's not fair to show 3 columns of content on a small device. Now we want to make like when it reaches this issue, when it should reach a small device, it should show 2 columns, or it should show 1 column. When it reaches an iPad, it should show 2 columns. When it reaches a laptop, it should show 3 columns. Okay? So how do you do that? So this call, by default, it will act on all, like the way we did before, the previous video, remember? The previous chapter. If you don't specify the size, then it will begin from the smallest size to the biggest size. So I want to specify the size, so it means that this rule will start acting from that side. So I can say like call 12. So if I do like that, what does it mean? It means that from the smallest size, this column will always be how many? 12. So if I come and refresh, boom, 12. Because from the smallest size, it says 12. Now I want to say that at the medium size, there should be 2. So how will I do that? I'll have to put call MD6. That is the 2 part. So this will be 2. It will make it to be 2. Okay, let me just leave it on the 1 only. So if I refresh, can you see? So beginning from the medium size, this black one will violate this first rule, and it will jump to what? To 6. So you see, when it goes less than medium, it comes to full screen. Bigger than medium to half a screen. Okay? So I can do the same for this one also by just adding call MD. You have understood this thing, MD, LG, XL, using the other previous thing that we discussed about. So by doing that, then it means that if I come and refresh, by medium size, it will be 6. Can you see? But when it goes less than a medium size on a smartphone, it comes to 12. Okay? How did you do that? We first define the rule that will cut across, then we change that rule later. Okay? So I can say on the iPad, it should show 2. How will I do that? Medium. And then I say on beyond the iPad, it should show 4. So that will be 3. Sorry. If I want to show 3, oh, mathematics. I think, yeah, it's 4. I think, yeah. So I put call MD4. Call MD4. I'll add it here and add here. Call MD4. So what LG. Sorry, not MD. LG. Okay. So it means, let me explain this. It means that less than, across all sizes, it is 12. Beginning from the laptop, the iPad, it should be half. Then beyond the iPad, it should be 3. So I'll also add here, beyond iPad, it should be 3. Beyond iPad, it should be 3. Because 12 divided by 3, it is 3. Divided by 4, it is 3. So I refresh. So you see, it's not beyond iPad, beyond a laptop. Okay? So if I want to target an iPad, then it will be MD, and this will be SM. Okay? So you see, beyond a laptop, it is 3. Can you see that? Members, are you following? Then lastly, I can say now, beyond a laptop, it should be 4. So I'll come and put call. I'll come and violate the previous rule. Call XL what? 3, right? Because 12 divided by 3 is what? Is 4. So there will be 4 per column. And then I'll come and put this one. 4 per column. Maybe I should come and copy, because there will be 4. I should come and copy and paste this one and change maybe the background. Warning. Have you used the warning before? No. Warning. So can you see? If I come and refresh, it is like this because it's 4.4. But when you go beyond the laptop, they are 4.4. On the laptop, they are 3.3. So here they cannot fit because it is 4. And then 4 divided by all, 4 times 3, it is going beyond 12. 4 times 4 is going beyond 12. That's why this one is flowing down. So on medium, you see, it is becoming that size. And then on small screen, it is becoming full screen. So by doing this one, you can make your great applications that will be very good and that will be responsive to the what? To your users. So if you have a question, you can ask. Who did not understand? And I will explain. Fatomata. Why did you not understand now? Did you understand? Yeah, so until you practice, then you'll prove that yes, you understood, right? Yeah. So I say that you're the right person. Hadija too. Where you don't understand and explain. You understood. Very, very good. So we shall stop from there for today. Next class, inshallah, I'll determine whether I should go to PHP or go to jQuery. I'll let you know. Not yet. We have done with Bootstrap. I know, I'm the teacher. We shall come back. Okay, it's a good question, but we shall come back. The Bootstrap without JavaScript, it is over. The remaining part of Bootstrap needs the what? The JavaScript. The cursors, the what? So after I introduce you to jQuery, Bootstrap depends on jQuery JavaScript. After I introduce you to jQuery, you understand jQuery, and then you shall come back to Bootstrap and learn what is a modal, what is a cursor, what is a pop-up. Do you understand my structure, right? jQuery. Yeah. So members, they are the same. You should confuse yourself. I'm listening. So members, that's it. But before we go to another thing, I'll give you what to do to practice at home. Hadi, I want to look at your work. You can either show it to me on Zoom, or you'll send it to me on. You'll zip it and send it to me on WhatsApp, and then I'll have to look at it. And then in the next class, I'll tell you what we shall look at. Okay? Okay, I hope it was a wonderful class. I hope you guys have learned something new. And I wish you a good day, a good evening. Now you can go and cook. The what? You want the source code? You're feeling cold? because I made you walk in the rain? Nah. You had your cold